but I want my kids to find things that they love.
Yeah.
And I want to like then just help them. I really am not the dad who's like, you're going to do this. Although I did tell them both they were going to do swimming, because I was like, I don't care if you don't want to. I want to be able to push you into a pool and you can get out. Like that's my job as a dad. Luckily with piano, I was like, let's try this, because if you can learn piano at this age, that's your best chance of being better when you're older.
Sure. So. The other end of fathering is instead of pushing, it's like, oh, you don't like it? Just give up. Don't do it. Don't worry about it. No, dude, no push at all. You know, don't worry about it.
I definitely like today was a roller coaster. There was definitely like, you're not showing up to the game, huh? Okay, I'll tell coach you're not going to be there. You know, because being a dad is tough. It's
hard. For sure.
You know,
no, I
you've been there.
Oh, I'm still there. Yeah, they're still around.
You're always there.
It was easy for us and good for us to be doing that at the time, because we could open up for all the bands that came through. Amazing. We could get on any show with most of the bands that came through. That was amazing. An amazing time to be a band who liked all those bands coming through. You know, it was fun. It was a great part of the band's existence, and wouldn't trade that for anything, of course, because we had some rad shows on the main stage and other big venues and stuff like that, like, you know, Sports Arena and all that kind of stuff, just because you know, just a bunch of young bozos trying to make it to the big leagues and stuff.
But like, I feel like we also never took any of that like, we enjoyed every single second of all of those. I mean, like, I remember being like, you know, then I remember playing with No Use and Strung Out, and we were the whole time we was like, we're playing with No Use and Strung Out. I know. Like, I mean, it never stopped. It never got old. We were, you know, always so excited to do anything, and especially those shows of those bands where we're like, you know, or playing with like No Motive. Remember playing with No Motive and being like, these guys are amazing.
Yeah, I do. I talk about some of those favorite shows a lot, you know. Because as I am a guest on other stuff and people ask me favorite memories, I'm like, 10-foot pole, Millencolin, all those.
Millencolin, dude, I still listen to them weekly.
Or even just remembering the venues, and you know, even House of Blues with Thrice, or like anything like that. Like just those fun memories of things that you would put in your book, for example, a memoir of the highlights and stuff like that. And then, you know, of course, we have to talk about, you know, taking Evan all the way to Alaska and back, and jumping on a trampoline with a moose in front of us and all this kind of stuff. You know, like those are kind of,
we survived.
We should not have survived that trip for multiple reasons.
Do you remember when we were on our way to Alaska and you took a squeegee and you cleaned the trailer? The trailer was a white trailer, and it was completely brown, and you took a squeegee and cleaned the whole thing, and the attendant came out and was really mad at you because you had dirtied the water.
It was so bad. It was so dirty.
It was so dirty, and you took and you cleaned it like it was sparkling,
like a car wash.
When you were done with it, and like
I know
you looked down at the squeegee and the water, and it was like mud.
I remember that because I remember Russell and Evan coming out of the van being like, "Whoa, the trailer is so clean.
It's so sparkling.
It's so sparkling clean.
It's like lemon fresh," and there's a guy inside yelling at you.
We're like, "Well, gotta go to Moosehead or whatever." Actually, answer that question, Sean. Like, what's it like knowing what you know about being a son? You're a son to a broken home.
Sure, yeah.
And how is it now being in a stable marriage and with kids? You know.
Yeah, we had to kind of like, it's tough. We had to go through last year why do I have 3 sets of grandparents talk? And that was tough, because how do you explain that to your son and then be like, but we're fine? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if he's like, well, wait, people I know, you know, split up, why wouldn't you? You know, and it's like, you have to really like smoothly handle all of this. You know, it's so interesting as a parent, because you start and you're like, man, this is so hard, but you realize that it's like more task oriented, and you're not actually parenting when you have a 1-year-old. You're not teaching this child anything. You know what I mean? Really, you're just mostly like changing diapers, like worrying about the health and safety. But then you actually get into parenting, which is the actual work. and hopefully you realize, wow, I really have to focus here because I have a
Totally.
life in my hands that I am going to sculpt and mold. And oh my God, what have I done? So we had to go through that with our oldest. I think our daughter still doesn't quite get it. And I'm like, take your time. I'll do one kid at a time right now.
There you go.
But I think we were able to, what was great is like, so my parents split up, I was 8 or 9. Luckily they had a great relationship. So we actually just were like, let's have him call his granddad and talk to him. And so I called my dad and I was like, hey, look, I want to tell you that he now knows about our history. He's going to have some questions and you're going to talk to him. And I did the same thing with my mom. And so that was really healthy because